From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Take a look here at temperatures across the prairie, generally in the low to middle single digits here, anywhere from 1 degree here in Calgary to, as you make your way into southern Alberta, we've got some 7 and 8 degree readings as you head into portions of southern Saskatchewan. Southern Manitoba this morning. As we look at the last 7 days of precipitation, we had another corridor of heavier precipitation, generally along Highway 16, getting down to the Highway 1 corridor as you make your way into southern Manitoba. But it was really central portions of Alberta, central Saskatchewan into east central Saskatchewan, down into southern southern Manitoba, where we saw that heavier precipitation getting into the 1 to 2 inch range. As we look at the satellite picture here, infrared satellite, I'll go ahead and do what I do and draw the jet stream flow in here. I've got a trough digging in across the western United States, kind of an upper level low right in this region. That's going to continue off to the north and to the east as we head through the next 3 or 4 days. I've got another little upper level wave here, kind of just off to the north, with a little front that extends into portions of central Manitoba and southeastern Saskatchewan. We've got some very light shower activity along that frontal boundary right in this area as you see the radar get animated. We'll go ahead and zoom in on that area. And again, this is anywhere from Radville, Weyburn, up toward Riding Mountain, and then this will continue off to the south into the east across the rest of southeastern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba as we head through the next 12 hours or so. And this is very light, very spotty activity, maybe some light drizzle across these areas as we head through the rest of the day. Now, as we look at the NAM model, we'll take this through Thursday, expecting a pretty quiet week across the region. Much of the activity, the heavier precipitation, going to be off to the south and then off to the north during the later part of the week. So as we head through just the next 4 days or so, taking it through Thursday, this is just verbatim your precipitation totals from the NAM model. Keep much of that heavier precipitation off to the north, but by heavier, it's a bit of a different flavor this week. We're not talking about a organized system dropping 1 to 2 inches of precipitation across northern areas here. We're talking about scattered, very light shower activity over the next 3 to 5 days. Really a pretty quiet week, relatively speaking. It's not going to be dry and completely quiet region-wide, but taking a break this week, at least over the next 5 days, from really big, high-impact, disruptive, significant moisture-bringing storm systems here. So we'll compare the NAM with here's the NBM on the left, I should say, National Blended Model, and then the European model on the right, both of these taking it through the next 5 days. This is through Friday afternoon. And again, you can see the NBM pretty clear with its drier corridor here south of Highway 16 across much of the prairie, lighter precipitation as you make your way across central Alberta back toward the Grand Prairie area, and then lighter precipitation as you go east from there. So we look at the European model, a little bit more busy, a little more clutter included within that model there, but really the same story. Heavier precipitation north of Highway 16, generally on the drier side across the primary prairie region here. Now, as we add the weekend in, we do have a flip back toward a potentially more unsettled pattern. Over the weekend, you see the heavier precipitation begin to work its way in here on the National Blended Model, but plenty of uncertainty as we get into the weekend. So here's the pattern. Remember, I drew in that big trough here across the western United States, kind of a more subtle disturbance up here with that frontal boundary extending into portions of the prairie. As we put this into motion over the next several days, we're going to keep it on the quiet side, the quiet and disorganized side. So here's that little wave off to the north. Again, the frontal boundary down here. Light shower activity over the next 12 to 18 hours as that exits the area. So we head into Tuesday and now into Wednesday. Really pretty subtle flow across the region. The bigger trough, the bigger weather maker is well off to the south. We've got heavy precipitation, heavy showers and thunderstorms expected across the Midwestern United States. A little bit of ridging trying to work its way into the Pacific Northwest, so temperatures will be a little bit more on the mild side as we head through much of the work week, with a cooler transition accompanying that transition toward a potentially more active pattern this weekend. This is what that looks like. This is our late week ridge. This is as we get into Thursday. Again, a ridge of high pressure across the western United States, across, kind of nudging into portions of the prairie. Here's our next approaching disturbance, though, coming in from the Pacific. Again, this is Thursday night, getting into Friday. I'm going to take all of the drawings off here and then show you what that looks like. This is the European model and what it thinks. This is the European operational model, so not looking at the ensemble either. This is just verbatim what the European model sees here 5 to 6 days out into the future. And again, we see that trough working its way back into the prairie. This would set up another active regime here, another stormy and unsettled regime across at least portions of the prairie, along with transitioning those temperatures back toward a little bit of a cooler pattern here for the last days of May, over the final weekend in May. Now, we've got some considerable differences between the European on the left and the GFS on the right. Both of these, again, the operational run, just verbatim what they think is going to happen here over the next 5 to 7 days. Now, both of these models do have a trough working its way into Western Canada, but they've got a bit of a different idea on how the kind of multiple embedded waves are going to behave there, and that, of course, impacts the evolution of the bigger trough overall. Another big difference here is what happens with the storm system, the upper level trough that's impacting the Midwestern United States this week. The GFS cutting that off across the southeast, the European model lifting it across the northeast. So as we get 5 to 7 days out into the future, we've already got a big spread in the potential outcomes here. So we need to be careful about getting too hung up on specifics. The bigger thing to understand is both models do bring another trough into the region that would suggest a trend towards stormier and cooler conditions after a rather mild and dry week across the prairie. So both models, the European ensemble now and the GFS ensemble, now we're looking at, the ensemble, we're looking at all the potential outcomes, the probability of the forecast here as we get into days 5 to 7, which is going to be your more reliable bet. Again, with uncertainty in the forecast a week out, we don't want to look at the specifics with the operational run. We want to kind of just look at the blended version here, all potential outcomes, and kind of what the most likely outcome is going to be. And we can see as we look at the probability of picking up 1 inch or more of precipitation between today and next Sunday night, so this would be including the entire week here through the weekend, the highest probability is right here across portions of western Alberta. As you get in toward the Grand Prairie, the Peace River region, we're talking about nearly 100% chance of picking up an inch of rainfall here, or an inch of precipitation total, potentially getting some snow worked in there over the weekend. But the heaviest precipitation, west central Alberta, and then you kind of follow that corridor here, generally along the Highway 16 corridor. The differences would be with the GFS and the European model. Biggest difference right across this region here, where the GFS a little more optimistic about another round of heavier precipitation into portions of southeastern Saskatchewan and southwestern Manitoba, whereas the European model keeping things a little bit on the drier side across the prairie as we get into the weekend. And so really, again, all I can tell you is that we're headed toward another run of active weather this weekend into potentially early next week, along with a downtrend in our temperatures. But the specifics, who's going to get the heaviest rainfall? Are we going to work some snow in there? How widespread will the precipitation be, and how disruptive will these storm systems be with their other impacts? We're going to have to watch that as we get a little bit deeper into the week and get some of the confidence increased here and some of the uncertainty squeezed out. Let's go ahead, though. Let's look at the operational run. Let's just look at what the European model says verbatim again for the week. It's going to be generally on the quiet side. This is Monday. You got your front extending down to this region from your low off to the north. That's what brings the very light showers to the southern border of Saskatchewan and Manitoba today. We head into Tuesday. Higher pressure in general across the region. We still kind of have a frontal boundary extending back across the prairie. That's what you can see right here. Here's your low off across the Hudson Bay here. This would be early Tuesday morning, and then you see the frontal boundary kind of just lingering back across Highway 16, and it's along that front where we'll maybe see some showers during the day Tuesday and Wednesday. That front begins to lift back to the north as we start to bring that trough in from the west, and this is what increases the chances for precipitation then as we get into the weekend. This is Friday night, now getting into Saturday. Here's your first low ejecting, and then another one, of course, coming in the backside. This is where the uncertainty comes in. We've got multiple areas of low pressure. Another one here, so let's just circle all three of these. What we're going to have to do over the next 4 days or so is, digest and understand how these lows are going to impact each other, how they're going to kind of retrograde around each other, what kind of merging impacts we'll have here. All of the solutions here, of course, on the table, and we'll do our best over the next few days. But that's what you've got, a transition toward more active later in the week. Let's look at that quiet week one more time, though, because I went kind of quickly through that. Here's your Monday, light showers along the southern border of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Here's a pretty quiet Tuesday, showers near Highway 16, maybe some showers in western Alberta. This is your Wednesday now. The front begins to lift north, probably going to be quiet across much of the region. Maybe again some showers in Edmonton back toward Peace River. This is now your Thursday, generally on the quiet side. Maybe some showers from this very subtle little disturbance here making its way into southern portions of Manitoba on Thursday, but really you're more organized, your more widespread precipitation holds off even after Friday, not until Saturday and into the weekend across the prairie. Now your temperatures, again, we're going to see a little bit of a run of mild temps here early this week. This is now, we'll take the temperature forecast. You're looking at your temperature anomalies here. So how far from average are we here? You see the kind of the beige and the warmer temperatures here as we head through the middle part of the week. This is your Wednesday. Now getting into Thursday, we've got some ridging trying to nudge into the region. The downtrend in temperatures is going to come as that trough begins to build over the region. Getting into the weekend and early next week, we start to see those cooler temperatures beginning to filter back into the prairie on the backside of that trough. Now, in the absence of any really big, impactful storm systems over the next 4 to 5 days, winds are going to be a bit more tame this week. We've seen several runs of very windy conditions accompanying some of these storm systems. We'll keep those gusts, below 40 to 50 kilometers per hour here through much of the week, but it does look like maybe windy conditions returning late week as we start to turn back toward a potentially more active pattern. So here are your temperature forecasts across some of our select cities. Again, on the mild side through much of the week, downtrending here as we head into the weekend and early next week. Edmonton, a very similar look. Saskatoon, very similar as well. Again, stormier, more active as we get into the late part of the week, May 28th, 29th, and 30. Similar look here in Regina, and then similar look again in Winnipeg. Mild this week, trending cooler and stormier as we head into next week.